Hey everyone, welcome to Filmme Talk, a podcast where two gals talk film, television, and everything in between the reels. I'm your host, Ileana Melendez, head of marketing and a critic here at FullCircleCinema.com. And I'm joined here today by Josie Melendez.
Yes, we're actually meeting in person with, safety guidelines, of course.
Safety protocols were put in place. We're here. We sanitized ourselves and our spirits. And we were able to make it work because we're not actually that long distance. She lives 10 minutes away from me.
Yeah.
But, we're in the middle of a panini. As
a panna cotta.
A panna cotta, a Panasonic. And I ran out of pannas. A paranormal activity.
Mm-hmm.
I hate it. Okay, so we are basically living our 2014 Tumblr YouTuber fantasy today. We have the mics with the podcast arms, so we're basically Tiny Meat Gang on YouTube. I would just like to say, I said, yeah, there's someone, revving their engines, and we would just like to say stop. So we are going to be talking about Godzilla versus Kong today. Kong. The monkey versus the lizard. And we're gonna really, I love a good rom-com.
I know.
I love a good rom-com. It gave me 27 dresses.
Yes. No, if you would have seen me at the theater, it was literally just me. There was one point where they were so close to each other, just yelling at each other, and I literally went,
yeah.
And then I was with the film posters because it was an advanced screening. So Anna and Sophia just stare at me, and I'm like,
so yeah, Josie, don't take her to the movies. She will choose violence.
Yes.
And yeah, so we're going to talk about that. Aside from monkey versus lizard, there is more to this movie that meets the eye. No, it's not a Transformers flick, but it's actually pretty good. I would like to preface this that neither one of us are kaiju fans. Not that we're not fans. We're not hardcore.
Yeah, hardcore.
We are not hardcore fans, so we would like to not apologize because there's nothing wrong with that. It's just not our cup of tea. But just, fair warning. This is from our perspective.
I like a good monster flick, but I'm not gonna go hardcore. I think the reason I got so into Godzilla vs. Kong was because of the way that, and it wasn't even the promotional team. I don't think the press team for this film was pushing Team Kong and Team Godzilla from the beginning. I think it was very organic and very natural. And of course, I chose violence, and I decided to root for Team Kong.
As we all did. I did too.
It was honestly, I just wanted to choose violence because it was very fun to say Team Kong. And people being like, why are you rooting for King Kong? Godzilla's right there. He's a nuclear plant. Yeah.
It's a monkey. It just makes people mad.
Yucky, it's bothering you.
It's bothering you, and I'm gonna continue to do it because
so I'm gonna keep doing
that serious. It's really not that serious. It's not a huge rivalry, honestly. But I must say, it hit better than Batman versus Superman.
It did. So going into it, I immediately was with that feeling, this is gonna be Batman versus Superman, but with monsters. And it did go along those lines. I actually predicted the ending of the film, so I don't know if that just...
I had a feeling.
Yeah, I'm like, does that make me a good screenwriter, or can I just see past this? But anyways, I'm gonna say it does make me a good screenwriter, but that's just me. I have a degree.
She is a good screenwriter. Hire her. Staff her, please.
But yeah, I think, of course, it was a little bit predictable, the ending, especially once you find out that there is, I'm not going to say it yet when we get into spoilers, but there is a third contender in this film, and probably you already know. It's been everywhere. Funko Pop spoiled it before the film came out, so.
Yeah, they really, relatively, they kept the spoiler ending pretty under wraps up until recently.
Yeah.
So, I didn't know about it because I made some sort of effort to avoid spoilers as to, not damage my expectations.
Perception.
Yeah, my perception. I didn't want to go in, oh my god, what's the word? like when you contaminate. I didn't want to contaminate my perception going in.
Also, just going with healthy expectations, which is what we promote on this channel.
Yeah, hashtag healthy expectations.
And on Filmme Talk.
This is the channel of healthy expectations, but, you know, I'm pretty sure at this point people think that we're never gonna, like, trash talk anything. And it's not a matter of trash talking. It's a matter of critiquing. And we have very fairly, I think, critiqued the media that we consume without bashing the creators, because that's just rude.
Yeah, parentheses. It's always that point where I think people need to learn that you can like something and still criticize it the way that you can not like something and still find the good in it. Because again, this is a business of people just trying to make stuff, and come on, let's not shit on people's work unless it's a horrible human being. Then carry on.
The Justice League. I digress. there you can go all off. But yeah, I have mad respect for creators that tackle these iconic characters, because these are characters that have been around for like almost 100 years, and a lot of people hold them very near and dear to their hearts. It's not the same, I don't think it's the same thing as like comic book characters, where it's a little bit more detailed, I would think. And people are really, really like jealous with those characters. But still, this is something that people have been seeing King Kong or Godzilla in films since like the 30s, 40s, 50s, and onwards. So it is I like how it does kind of, in this film, not necessarily give a direct homage, but it just gives you that sense of nostalgia and almost awe of look at how far we've come.
Yeah. Like,
film-wise, technology-wise, like, this used to be some dude in, like, you know, a little costume.
Yeah.
And people lived for it. They were living for it. And I think that's also such a testament to the magic of cinema. And yes, we're gonna get a little mushy here. It really does give you those vibes. No, honestly,
I kept joking. I can't believe that I was going off for the cinematography in this film. Everyone I was talking to was like, the cinematography is
you wouldn't think
superb in this film. And you wouldn't think. It's a movie about a giant monkey and an atomic lizard fighting.
It's basically an animated film once you think about it. Yeah. It's literally all animated, but you don't think that while you're watching it. You're like...
And they were like...
Go off, proceed. This is like, a huge lizard fighting a monkey.
Blade Runner aesthetic, Blade Runner 2049 to be specific. And it's very I'm gonna give you something, I'm gonna tell you something that you're probably gonna be very surprised by. But the cinematographer, or at least part of the cinematography team for Godzilla vs. Kong, one of the people, or the main cinematographer, I need to check. I just know that Letterboxd gave me this information and I didn't know what to do with it. So I didn't investigate further. But is the same, like, this person also worked on Chaos Walking in the cinematography department. So I am very confused. Again, I did not
I can see why you didn't research further, because that's something you have to take a 45-minute nap to process.
I was like, does not connect. But either way, I think they did a really good job. Especially, like, again, Blade Runner 2049 vibes. There was the neon. The battles were neon. The talking was neon.
Yeah, it was really cool, because during they had, like, the more grungy, realistic, gritty fights. They also weren't afraid to have, let me tell you, excellent desktop wallpaper moments.
Yeah.
Like, wow. You could have a still, any still from, like, that last fight.
Yeah.
Could be a poster. It's just so, the color palette is so vibrant and complementary in a way to these huge forces of nature. Obviously fictitious. But it's so interesting to see how they went from dark and gritty and transitioned into almost like a pop comic book type, but live action sort of a deal with the film, that I honestly thought it was really fun. Like, throughout the movie, during the action sequences, I was honestly, like, actually on the edge of my seat. Like, the action here is so much fun. What kind of downplays it in certain points is, like, obviously, you don't expect a lot from the human characters. Like, you know, this is to be expected. So it was expectedly extremely stupid.
Yeah.
It was the plot. It's kind of sad because the story was there, like the lore. I was here for the Hollow Earth lore and all of that, which has already been spoken about in other movies, if I'm not mistaken.
Especially because Godzilla, I think it was in the second one that they were talking about how he can travel so quickly, and he probably just uses those same tunnels that direct like within Hollow Earth, because if you can see, there are like different tunnels within the Earth itself, and that's how he probably travels so quickly from like Tokyo to the United States.
He's also huge.
Yeah.
So like, you know, it's to be expected. Yeah. But yeah.
So they're adding a lot to like the rules of the world.
Yeah, this world is really interesting because it's like our human modern world, but also with 22nd century type, almost cyberpunky
Journey to the center of the Earth.
It gave me Journey to the Center of the Earth, and I really wish that it leaned more into that. Like,
I really wish Brendan Fraser was in this.
Me with every movie I see. I go into the movie theater and I'm like, you know, it was good, but you know what could have made it better? You know what could have made it better? Brendan Fraser. We're Brendan Fraser stands, not only on this podcast and on this channel, but in all of Full Circle Cinema. For the team watching, y'all know what I'm talking about. I think we have like actual shrines, like digital shrines to Brendan Fraser at some point. But I digress. Yeah, Brendan Fraser would have been a really good actor, actually, in this. Not joking.
Yeah.
I digress. So, the lore of the movie, without getting too much into spoilers until later in the discussion, the lore here, if they had given it a little bit more thought, it was, like, right there.
Yeah.
Like, you can tell, like, they got the idea, and they just kept it. They didn't really develop it further. And I feel like if they had given it a little bit more thought, this would have been, like, such a perfectly balanced movie, as well as a little bit more thought into the characters, because I liked the character Gia, the little girl who communicates with she's kind of like Kong's girl, because for some reason Kong always has to have like a girl that he just kind of like, that's my homie, that's my girl, and I'm calm with her. Yeah. It's kind of, you know, the Hulk and Scarlet Witch moment. Yeah. Scarlet Witch? No. Scarlett Johansson!
Scarlett Johansson!
Terrible. No, the Hulk and Black Widow moment. Sorry. Absolutely terrible. No. Anyways, so, yeah. I liked her character. I thought she was honestly a standout of the movie, and the other lady that was with her that I don't remember her name. It's one of those things where like all the human characters, you don't know their names. Yeah. Oh, they're named this. 2 seconds later, I don't know what their name is.
I'm just gonna say like Millie Bobby Brown's character.
Millie Bobby. Her name's Madison, and I remember because my best friend's name is Madison. Okay. Hi, Madison. That's all I know. I know the kid from The Hunt for the Wilder People. I say the kid from Hunt for the Wilder People. But most people know him from Deadpool 2. Yeah.
That's
an indie film.
That's how I identified him. I was like, Deadpool.
Yeah, I'm like an indie film girl. So, you know, I was a Taika Waititi fan before Ragnarok. I digress. So, yeah, honestly, the human characters really did not stand out, which is fine. It's a monster flick. You're not really here for the human characters, but if you're gonna insist on utilizing the human perspective to propel the story forward, just give it a little more thought.
Yeah, develop it better. Yeah. That was my main thing. So my main complaint, I think, well, at this point, we're going to move into spoilers. Yeah, because... So, just to close it up, if you haven't seen the film, please go watch it, because honestly, despite its problems, because it does have problems, as there's not a perfect film, except for Portrait of a Lady on Fire.
She's not wrong.
So, films have their issues, but honestly, I will tell you straight up that this is one of the best movies of this year so far. In terms of like a blockbuster, in terms of entertainment, it's pure spectacle. And usually, like, I think we've moved to the point where that's all people crave for. And I would like to move back from spectacle when it comes to films. But for this one, it works. It works so well.
It works really well. And it's like the closest thing to the movie theater experience you can get at home. Yeah. Because it's just, I don't know, just loud spectacle action movies hit different than like the more intimate, quiet films. Yeah. Which they're both good. They both serve their purpose. but there's nothing like having your surround sound like be on the border of exploding in your own home just to feel something.
It's also just one of those movies that right now, considering everything we've been going through, you just sit back, relax, have fun, then fight with your friends over who won or who didn't, because we're gonna get into it. It is a little bit vague who actually wins, or is it? And yeah, it's just pure fun, pure adrenaline, pure serotonin. And if that doesn't convince you, I don't know what will. But serotonin.
If you need that's the Letterboxd review. It gives you some serotonin. So like, what else do you need? So yeah, definitely go watch it. It's on HBO Max till April 30th. HBO Max supremacy lives and thrives.
The currently. HBO Max agenda is, I don't know who posted in the Full Circle Cinema chat,
Rascal.
But
Mr. Rascal Kennedy.
I love that because I remember we did, at least on Film Posers, because as you know, I am part of Film Posers. A while back we did this is going off topic at it, but I swear I'll be quick.
No, there's a point. There's always a point to this.
Yes, we did an episode on streaming services because there are so many and it's so overwhelming. And I remember I said, because that was when HBO Max launched, and it was like, HBO Max is going to be like the next big thing. And now everyone's like, HBO Max, and I'm like,
We've been new.
So Rascal, thank you for supporting the HBO Max agenda.
Rascal needs to be promoted and sponsored by HBO Max at this point, because like he like, and I was also on the HBO Max train.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's having vision. It's having foresight. Like, look at the material.
The interface, the material, it's very user-friendly. And even though it is a bit complicated right now with this whole aspect of, like, theater versus streaming and all that, I think they're making it pretty accessible if you have it. I didn't have to pay because, of course, I already have the HBO subscription. But a lot of people, like, it has the watch party feature. A lot of people have been able to make it work. And
sharing the accounts is really easy. Like, it gives you, like, all the users. It doesn't fuss about crap like Netflix tends to do. And a lot of times, if you're an AT&T customer, check your plan, because a lot of times you can get HBO Max included with your AT&T subscription. So there you go. You're welcome. This is an HBO Max agenda channel now. But yeah, definitely take advantage. Go watch it and enjoy your subscription, because in about 2 weeks, because today is April 1st when we're recording this, we're gonna get Mortal Kombat, and we're gonna get like a bunch of different films this year. We're gonna get In the Heights on HBO Max. We're gonna get Space Jam 2. Oh my god, The Suicide Squad. We're getting Dune. The quality is there, and it's nice because, you know, theaters are opening up again. People are getting vaccinated, and if you don't want to risk, if you want to like really make sure that movie's worth going to the movie theater for, watch it on HBO Max. Also,
now this has become like a streaming
discussion,
but I mean, we've all been thinking about it, so let's talk about it. Another good thing is that, like, right now, as a lot of people have been discussing recently, the whole problem with like Disney Plus and Premiere Access, at least with HBO Max, you still have that option to see a movie in the theater. So,
because they do the simultaneous release.
Because Godzilla vs. Kong, I think you should see it in a theater. If you can, even like a drive-in, if there's a drive-in near you playing it, I would definitely watch it, because this is definitely a theater film. And if you have good surround sound, like Inyana mentioned, even better. Anyways. But yeah, at least like if you can watch, again, we recommend this film. If you can watch it in theaters, great. If you can't, you can watch it on HBO Max. Watch it with friends. Do whatever you can to get that serotonin, but you will get it. I guarantee it.
Even if you're not, I feel like I can understand and I agree with the criticisms, especially from people that are really like bigger fans of the kaiju genre in general, and in particular this franchise from Universal. This is from Universal, right? No.
Warner Bros.
Warner Bros. Duh.
I love how I don't even say Warner Brothers. I'm like Warner Bros.
Warner Bros.
Okay.
It's good.
Moving into spoilers.
We're
moving into spoilers now. You heard it here. Go watch it.
Go watch it, yeah. The human characters that were useful, I can count on 2 fingers. That's it. That's all. Okay. Isa Gonzalez is there for the thirst trap.
Her end was very unexpected, and yet I was still like, okay, I see it.
I see it.
I vibe.
I saw that for you.
I vibe.
I vibe
Because
with
as soon as she said, get rid of the monkey, I was like, you touch a little hair on King Kong's head and you are going inside Godzilla.
Get rid of the monkey. And I was like, we'll get rid of you, bitch.
We'll get rid of it, literally. And then they said that. I was like, yes. That was the appropriate answer.
Yeah.
But I think another character I really liked, which I cannot remember his name right now, but he runs the podcast.
Brian, I think.
Is it Brian?
No, I'm not sure.
Jujul.
We're very professional here. I love how in my recent search I searched Eurovision to make sure I had the full title right, because I was going to tweet unrelated. I confuse Eurovision, like the full title, with A Song of Ice and Fire, and I don't think twice about it. I just wanted the world to know that.
Fire Saga.
It might as well be. It might as well be, but it's not.
Also,
it's the Fire Saga.
Unrelated. Watch Academy Award nominated Eurovision.
I'm sorry.
Song contest with Will Ferrell and Rachel McAdams.
It's really good, isn't it?
It was.
I thought it was gonna be trash. The actor's name is Brian. The character is Bernie.
Okay.
I was close.
Bernie,
yes.
feel the burn.
Feel the burn. So Mr. Burns, okay. Podcaster character.
So Bernie the podcaster, I really liked his character, just because I think Brian as an actor really does know how to handle comedy. I mean, come on, we all remember him in Get Out because he eased the tension a lot of the times. Mm-hmm. So
without being cringe.
Yeah, I need more of him. I need more of him, especially in the monster universe. It reminded me a little bit of
the guy from Transformers.
No, like Jimmy Woo from Ant-Man and then WandaVision.
Randall Park.
Randall Park.
I love him.
It felt like that kind of vibe.
Randall Park, yeah. If you're free this Thursday. Are you free this Thursday?
But yeah, it felt like that kind of vibe. It wasn't annoying. It was just complimentary. And it made the human story a little bit more...
Made it palatable.
Yeah. I was going to say tolerable.
Tolerable. I mean, it's synonymous. But yeah, that's also something I wanted to mention about this movie overall. Mm-hmm. Which, and I totally agree, and I understand the criticisms from more hardcore kaiju fans. Mm-hmm. This movie is definitely made more for a general audience. Like, I feel like it was kind of dumbed down to be more palatable for the masses, which I get because especially now in this, toast grilled panini, they're trying to sell these films, these new releases to as many people as possible because, it's I'm saying times are tough, but not really for multi-billion-dollar corporations.
I mean, Netflix spent like how much money for Knives Out 2 and 3?
$415 million. They said, hold my beer, to HBO Max. They're not going to beat HBO Max, but I appreciate the effort. It was a very good effort.
That is the real Godzilla versus Kong battle right now. It all comes back. HBO Max and Netflix.
The whole point. It's not really Godzilla versus Kong. It's Netflix versus HBO Max.
But yes.
That's a soundbite.
Team Kong.
Team Kong.
Yeah, the film... My main problem when I'm talking to people is I did not like the human storyline because at most there were times when I was like, wait, is this really happening? Are they just randomly? Because we spent how many movies? Like, what's that movie where they go to the center of the earth and a bunch of people die except for like 2 people? I can't remember.
Journey to the Center of the Earth.
No, there's another one where...
Is it the Will Ferrell comedy?
No, not that one. Oh my god, memory. The Sleet Stacks. Wow.
I don't know that one.
No, and the Will Ferrell movie. It's it's one of the creatures. But
yeah.
I mean, Armageddon, they spend so much time training. And then there's that other movie that I'm mentioning that they showed at a bunch of biology classes or science classes. You know the one? I can't remember the name right now, but a bunch of people die. And these movies, they spend so much time like, we have to train. We have to do all of this.
We're going to the center of the earth
where it's going to be really hot. And in this case, it was like, you can get crushed because of the gravitational pull because it becomes inverted. And then they just...
Can I just say, that whole thing, I was like, this is Tenet? Is this Tenet? This is Tenet. Oh, the gravity inversion. So we have an anti-gravity inversion vehicle. So this is Tenet, right? This is Tenet. Christopher Nolan, this is Tenet.
Yeah.
Get your coin. I'm sorry, continue.
Yeah, and then they just go in so easily.
I literally thought, y'all are still just breathing?
Yeah.
Y'all are still just breathing the same air?
That bothered me.
That's just weird.
That bothered me because at that point I was like, oh, you guys don't care. You're really just giving us the monsters, which I get is what a lot of people wanted. But in my case, I do like a little bit of logic. And
they risked it all.
Yeah, because they weren't breathing. They just took it off and they were like, okay, we're breathing in the middle of hollow earth. And then, like, by the end of it, they're gonna stay there. Again, this is spoiler territory, so I'm sorry if I just spoil it for you, but you were warned. Warned. By the end of it, they're already setting up, because, again, there wasn't a post-credit scene. There originally was, but they took it out, and they actually included it within the film, which I do not know which scene it is. But, yeah.
You know the tea.
Yeah.
I did not know this tea.
Emergency awesome. Thank you for the tea all the time. I don't know how you...
Yeah. I don't know how you do it, man, but we appreciate it.
But, yeah, I was watching... because there wasn't a post-credit scene, and then I saw that Emergency Awesome posted a video saying, like, post-credit scene, and I was like, wait, what? And then he said that apparently there was one, but they took it out and included it within the film. And then the director, there was a statement yesterday released saying that basically they did not add a post-credit scene in the end because they still don't know where the Monsterverse is gonna go.
I think that's responsible.
Yeah, so they're trying to see how this film plays out and what people like and what they don't to see where they will go next. Because at least also the ending of the film is from, again, Emergency Awesome. It's apparently an homage to the original battle from one of the original films, where they're just like, you're my bro, and then they go their separate ways.
They just kind of go deuces. Respect, deuces, I'm out.
Which, okay, let's get into it. Godzilla's a bully.
Oh, Godzilla's white boy summer. He's a jock.
Godzilla
Which is weird because he was like, I haven't seen King of Monsters. Wasn't he the hero of the last movie?
Yeah. I don't know, because
Millie Bobby Brown believed in him, but I'm like, this girl also...
Millie Bobby Brown, I don't trust your, like, judgment of character. Because Godzilla was being, I mean, I get it, because even she was like, but Godzilla was nice. I don't know what's going on. And we get it, because they were basically trying to replace him.
Atomic breath lizard is nice.
Like guana de palo. Atómica.
Gallina de palo.
Like gallina de palo.
Gallina de palo with atomic breath. Yeah. Let's get into it.
So, I get it up to a certain point, because, again, I'm King Kong, so clearly I do have a bias, but let's get into it. Godzilla.
You are King Kong. You are just King Kong.
Yes, I am King Kong. I'm Team Kong.
She is the King Kong now.
So, the whole, it kind of bothered me up to a certain point because King Kong is just living his life, and of course you have to raise the stakes, so they take him off of Skull Island, or the containment chamber, and they're traveling, and then at first I understood Godzilla attacking the Apex bases because they were trying to replace him, and we didn't know that at that time, but it makes sense. And then he
like
just...
a telepathic...
Yeah.
Like, connection.
Yeah.
And that's why he was just like, I must defeat.
Yeah.
I am superior. I am alpha.
Yeah, I think it's because I can't find the logic with King Kong yet, but with the Mechagodzilla, it's because they were using Mechagodzilla.
That's a quote. That is a quote, y'all.
They were using the head of Ghidorah.
Yeah, the Monster Zero.
Yeah.
So somehow with the skull, they did a psionic uplink.
Yeah.
I learned something.
So Godzilla could sense that, and then because that's what I don't understand, because at most he can sense King Kong once the axe is supercharged, so to speak. Then how did he sense it when he was on the boat? How did he find King Kong when he was just in the ocean, minding his own business, being traveled against his will, transported?
Godzilla went, I smell bitch in here.
Godzilla is a bully.
Godzilla's a bully. Avoiding all territories. And I'm like, wow.
He just shows up.
Somebody's here.
And you know that he's gonna show up because, of course, we need to see them. I do like that we saw from the beginning, like, Godzilla and King Kong meet from the beginning, and we established that near, like, the beginning of the second act. And again, just something I really want to talk about is that I think this is one of the best opening title sequences I've seen in a while. Especially because they literally made it seem like a boxing match. And that's what you're getting with this film. It's basically like a boxing match, but with monsters.
Yeah, you're basically going in for a UFC fight.
Yeah.
That's about it. You truly get what you sign up for. That I cannot complain.
Yeah.
You're here for monsters? Here you go. Here's monsters galore. And I do like the implementation of other monsters, aside from, like, the the third rival that we're going to get into in a bit. But they brought back the skull crawlers. Yeah. They showed once they get into the Hollow Earth. That was the best sequence of the film, in my opinion. Once they actually go into Hollow Earth, you see, like, this whole ecosystem in the middle of the Earth where gravity's inverted, and you have, like, this radioactive power source and yada yada yada. It felt kind of Fortnite, for all my Fortnite players out there, with the floating rocks. Yeah. Because I don't know if you know, but in Fortnite they have these, like, glowing crystals that you can eat, and it literally, like, helps you, like, teleport and, like, move faster and shit.
Love that.
It was literally that. Gamer girl here. So it kind of gave that, but it also brought me back to, and I don't think you've seen this yet, the Peter Jackson's King Kong. I feel like that film is a classic. Is it 3 hours too long? Yeah. But it's a classic because it really does dive deep into those Jurassic Park. I've seen the old ones,
I just can't remember.
It gives Jurassic Park vibes.
You mentioned Jurassic Park, and that's basically what we're gonna get into. So, the future of this franchise is that basically we might get, like, a kind of Jurassic World kind of vibe. That's what I'm getting from it. Like it. Because, again, the skull crawlers, we never saw them come out. They were, like, still in eggs, so to speak. And then you see how they're cloning other monsters, and because they have all this DNA, and it's like, where are you getting this DNA from? But also, I think that's what we're gonna get into, because Apex has so much DNA, and they're recreating all these monsters, and who's to say that we might not see, like, a King Kong clone in the future, because they're alluding to that whole aspect of, like, family. So I feel like we might be getting...
I like that sound of that. That's interesting.
I feel like we might be getting more of that.
Yeah.
And, like, who's to say we couldn't get, like, a Godzilla clone? So... Because the DNA is there.
There's a thin line here, though, because it could give us Jurassic World, but with the cloning, it could also kind of venture into the territory of the third Alien film, where there's, like, so many clones of... I forgot her name. Ripley. Yeah. So many clones of Ripley and the Xenomorphs and all that, and it also gives kind of Resident Evil. My age is showing. My Asian tastes are showing. But yeah, so they could be tiptoeing that line, which can get a little bit repetitive, literally, because of all the cloning. So I like that. And I also wanted to talk about, aside from the potential for the franchise, which I think is there, is that they just need better writers. Not to say that these are trash writers, no, but they just need a more developed writing team.
Yeah, I think we need a balance, because the problem with this film, at least for me, is that... Ooh, the microphone. The problem with this film, at least for me, is that I do like a good story, and I'm not saying I want it to be about the humans. No. I want it to be about the monsters, and we did get that. But then the human storyline was lacking, and we couldn't get rid of it because it was intertwined with the monster storyline. So, again, just make it a little bit stronger, because there were so many loose ends, so many, like, that's a thing that we can do, like, breathe in the center of the earth.
They didn't really explain things, too, because, yes, we saw Skull Island, but we saw Skull Island in the 70s. We didn't really get Skull Island modern day, so what happens to Skull Island? And they just mentioned... kind of in passing, a storm killed all this girl's people. It's very, very convenient.
So I think it was
for these white writers.
I think it was that. In reference to Kong Skull Island, the one with Brie Larson, but I haven't seen it, so I can't speak to it.
It's actually very good.
Okay. How does that connect with this storyline?
It really just
like,
shows...
how do they get him out of there? ¿Qué pasa? Because how do we go from the island to containment?
See, that's the thing. If you watch Skull Island, there's really not a huge continuation or transition between Skull Island and this. There's the only explanation you get, because at the end of Skull Island, Kong is still on the island. Because the Skull Crawlers are from Skull Island. That's where we saw them first. And Skull Island, Kong was like the protector of that island, a protector of that indigenous people. Because it was literally, they described it as Hollow Earth coming to the surface. Yeah. So it's kind of like that on that island. But in this movie, you just go straight into, you think Kong's on Skull Island still, but it's actually, you know, a dome. And he knows that he's trapped there. He knows it's not real. Yeah. Because
that's the first thing that happens. I was like, catching fire?
No, it really gave, Hunger Games Catching Fire vibes. So that was interesting. But how did you get there? Why? So, I understand the whole trying to be immersive and indirect storytelling through characters. Is like, okay, this lady here, you find out like half an hour later, okay, this doctor who's kind of like this girl Gia's guardian in a sense, was on Skull Island for 10 years. Okay, cool. You've been studying Kong, you've been taking care of him, you're his keeper, as well as this young girl's keeper as well. Okay, cool, fine. I'll buy it.
I was so nervous for her whenever she went up to Kong, because a part of me, like, I know that Kong wasn't gonna do anything to her, but still, I was like, oh.
I thought
don't
it was
hurt the girl.
Cute. It was so cute because he was just kind of throwing, not a tantrum, because he was understandably upset. He was scared. He was angry because they chained him up onto this boat in the middle of nowhere with sedatives. Bro, I would be scared. So she just goes out there and ETs him, and he's just like so gentle.
Yeah, he's like
he's just literally angry. And then all of a sudden he sees her, he's like, I gotta do the finger touch. Immediately. No hesitation. I have to do the finger touch. She's doing the thing. Yeah. So that calms him down. That was sweet. I liked that connection. And that also was a good scene to show the scale of Kong. Because sometimes you kind of lose perspective of the scale of these creatures until you see
especially
the comparison.
Yeah, he's still growing. He's still growing.
He's still a baby.
He's still a baby.
Aww.
Yeah, he's still a baby.
He's kind of gray, though, here, compared to Skull Island, because it's been, 30-odd years.
Yeah. He's still young.
40
He's
years.
still kicking. So, that also speaks a lot to... Okay, now we can get into, the battle between Godzilla and King Kong. Who won?
I'd like to know.
Yeah.
It was a 3-round thing. And then some human, the blonde guy's like, well, I guess round 2 goes to Kong. I'm like, we get it. We understood that. You didn't have to tell us, but thank you. Thank you, commentator.
I think that's what bothers me, because a lot of the promotion for this film is that one will fall. And it's like, which one? Mechagodzilla? Because that's a cop-out.
It really felt like a cop-out. I thought it was an interesting cop-out.
Yeah.
Still a cop-out.
Because,
if you're going to do it by rounds... Godzilla purposely went, submit, bitch.
Yeah.
Godzilla really asserted himself.
And I'm here because Godzilla is a bully.
Godzilla is white boy summer.
So, see, that's the thing. Because we were talking yesterday amongst the posers, and resident WWE fan, Juan Mojica, was saying something along the lines of King Kong did not tap out. So yes, he was, you could say he was dying, but he did not submit. Therefore, I feel like it's still open. And I mean, it's not me copping out. You could say that if you're jealous, but
if you're jealous,
he did not tap out. And again, it has to do with the writing. It was mostly like Godzilla. I feel like they were about to talk, and Godzilla was gonna be like, "Get out of here, kid. You're not worth it." He was going to
have the Caesar in Planet of the Apes moment.
Yeah.
I'm here for that.
Because he was just like, "You're not worth it." And he walks away and leaves him, literally dying.
Because, see, their fight was rudely interrupted. Because, Kong was, catching his breath. They had to restart his heart.
Yeah. And he just popped his shoulder back in, and he just kept going.
He had a dislocated shoulder and literally went, I am Muhammad Ali, and I'm gonna pop it back in. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and
that was kind of weird. That was one element that I kind of, it felt off-putting of how human-like their gestures were. Like, yes, this is monkey. Mm-hmm. But it's still monkey.
Yeah. I think someone could just explain it as saying that he's just very smart as a creature.
He is.
And perhaps, I mean, if you look at the civilization from where he came from, they had freaking like mountains and sculptures. But before we get into
I wish we got more of that.
I wish that's why I hope we get more Hollow Earth films. And getting back into that again, Godzilla was getting beat up. If it hadn't been for Kong's intervention, what would have been of Godzilla? Huh, Godzilla stands? What would have been of Godzilla without the help of King Kong?
There wouldn't have been a Godzilla, period.
Exactly. That's it. So who's the real winner? The friendship we made along the way.
So about Hollow Earth. Friendship, imagination. That's the point of this movie. But yeah, you know, it's kind of fun that it is open for debate because it keeps people talking about the film and rewatching it. So I enjoy that aspect. That's fun. Though, yes, false advertisement. There was supposed to be a clear, winner.
So technically, you might say, I'm not gonna argue. You could say it was Godzilla, and I've had people come into my DMs gloating, and I will not mention you, but
I know who it is.
I'm not saying I don't appreciate it. Like, but
you can say that. It's your show. It's our show.
But I mean, there wasn't a definitive winner. But also, even the posers on our side are divided, and I haven't been in the Full Circle Cinema chat yet. But
the spoiler chat's there, but it's messy.
Exactly,
it's a little messy now. People are hurt.
It gives a messy outcome.
You know who you are. You know who's hurt. I'm not gonna name you.
The Hollow Earth.
The Hollow Hurt. That's what that was.
The Hollow Hurt.
Yeah, so getting into that, yes, the fights were great. The Hong Kong scene, fantastic. I think that was really cool. Aside from the nitpicky bits that we got into, it was still really fun.
Yeah.
If you can watch this on IMAX, it's still like, you feel like a little kid.
CXC. Splurge a bit if you want that extra serotonin.
If you want that extra serotonin, go to a premium. If you feel comfortable enough to go to a theater near you, go splurge for the premium. Because on top of most of us aren't going to the theaters as often, you might as well treat yourself a little bit, go to a little matinee if you have the privilege to do so, obviously. But aside from that, if you can watch this whether in a theater or on your TV at home, I do recommend watching it on a bigger screen so you can actually get the full enjoyment, because I feel like you're not going to really be able to appreciate the movie to its full potential on a smaller laptop. It'll still be fun, but you're not going to get that. Ooh, it's not that wow factor is not there. That ooh-wee factor is just not going to be there. So yeah, I would also, before we close off on the discussion, I would really love to get into the lore.
Yes.
That we only brushed the surface of, and I'm kind of mad that they didn't give us more.
Yeah. So one thing I wanted to mention again, Emergency Awesome, because I consume my fair share of Emergency Awesome. And
Emergency Awesome,
just to create more conversation, one of the things that he mentioned is that when you see Godzilla using the atomic breath because he's like, what the heck is this monkey doing with a supercharged axe? And he just blasts into the center of the earth, and I just picture him looking down at the hole I see you, punk ass bitch. And then
Godzilla really went,
He did. And then he just looks down at the center of the earth, and then
very convenient that precisely there in Hong Kong where he already was.
Yeah. And then King Kong is just looking above you see me.
No, technically above or below.
Above or below.
Yeah, because
true.
It's inverted. It's kind of tricky.
Okay, again, writing. Let's clean it up next time. But they're looking at each other because this Jew just
used a tunnel through the earth.
Yes, that's the beef.
It gave me Home Improvement.
Yeah. So, clearly, Godzilla... So, what Emergency Awesome mentioned was that clearly Godzilla has access to Hollow Earth easily. So, that means that
Why isn't he there?
Yeah, all of the monsters come from this place, and they just made it to our level of the Earth. To the surface, as one calls it. And...
As one calls it. It do be
So,
like that.
Probably in the upcoming films, we will see them in Hollow Earth if they decide to explore that. But again, it also says that their ancestors and their species came from this area. So clearly their rivalry just came from, like...
They also had a
so
war.
many years, yeah.
They had a war in which we saw the remnants of, because, as we saw, which was like... Again, you could have put a little bit more thought into this, and it would have been so dope.
Yeah, I rewatched the film after, so 2 watches. I did not finish the second one, but from what I saw, I was rewatching the opening credits, and a lot of what you explore in the film is explained at the beginning, but you don't catch it as much because you haven't seen the film, so you're not going to focus on the things.
Yeah, the timing was a little bit weird.
Yeah, if you go rewatch it, there's a lot that is revealed at the beginning that you do see at first glance, but once you see the film and, like, go back and analyze it, there's just so many details and explanations as to what's going on with their past, what's going on with their biology and all that, but also, like, a lot of plot points that are explored in the film are shown at the beginning. So yeah, it's very interesting to pinpoint everything and see where they're gonna go, and you can get an idea by watching the opening title sequence again of where the franchise might go as well. But it's most likely that, like, they were there, and there's a I mean, Hollow Earth is huge. We only explored a fraction of it, even though he was running as if he knew where he was going, como Juan por su casa.
Yeah. Pero... He was just kind of going por instrumento.
Yeah, but we didn't explore the entirety of it, and they did hint at the fact that there could be more King Kongs, more of his species, more of his brethren out there,
his family.
Yeah, his family.
I forgot the sign for family. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I need to learn ASL. Like, immediately.
Yeah, they did it, and I was like, family.
That was cute. Oh, coward. That was funny. That was, I like the bullying for the white man. I thought that shit was funny.
And he was
had it coming. I am very brave. Are you now, huh? I hated that character. There was no redemption for that motherfucker.
No.
It really wasn't. Oh, you restarted his heart? You got him in this mess to begin with, sir.
Yeah.
For what? For what?
Billionaire cash money. That's
billionaire cash money. It was not very cash money on his part to do that, though. I digress. Yeah. So, yeah, we saw the lore. We saw that there was a war between the Kongs and the Zillas. We'll call it that. Yeah, but we could see that in this Hollow Earth, the Kongs, it's all in the thumbs, hun. They were basically the apex species. They had their own developed civilization. They had rock sculptures. They had their own they had a throne. They had stairs. They built like perfectly like even stairs, very satisfying. Like they had their own architecture and infrastructure, I should say. Yes. They had their own infrastructure. They had clearly their own civilization that basically was the ruler, in a sense, of this Hollow Earth. And I imagine, little nuke lizards got jealous and attacked them. So that ancient rivalry is what we mainly focus on. But I would really love to see more, like, in-depth lore, perhaps even a prequel. That would be really fun. Yeah. So,
especially like
just make it, you can make it animated. I don't care.
Honestly,
that's fun.
They're down there, so we'll probably see a little bit of them if they do decide to continue like the timeline as it is right now. I would like to see a little bit of what happened between Skull Island and this film. But
yeah, we didn't get that. Like the transition was so clunky. You could have made the action so much richer with that additional lore, with that additional story, because I didn't notice until my dad pointed it out. The axe itself is a scale from, like, the spikes from Godzilla, or one of the Godzillas.
Yeah.
And, you know, had its own wireless charging pad on the floor and everything by the throne. And then around, you know, it really felt like a wireless charging pad.
It did!
Tell me it did not. So, oh yeah, it's charging from the... Ma'am, we see that. We can see that.
Yeah.
We've been on Amazon. we know what a wireless charger looks like.
This is so random, but I do like that they only took a sample of the power instead of pulling a whole, when they're like, let's take it all, like in Atlantis, the animated film that got done dirty. Yeah. I like that they didn't try to take all of the energy source, that it was just a sample. That is such a small detail, but at least I liked it because, I mean, again, they were in Hollow Earth and they were breathing.
I mean, what else were they gonna do, to be fair? They didn't have that much equipment.
Exactly.
But what was weird was...
Because I wouldn't have believed if they had done anything different. I'm like, okay, at least something seems realistic.
What was weird was they didn't even have to take that sample to the surface.
Yeah.
That was kind of stupid.
Yeah.
Oh, we just need the energy signature so that we can recreate this hollow... Stop. Stop.
Again, stop. I think our biggest critique of this film was the writing. But spectacle, it's there. You're gonna have fun. What we're gonna see next, up to debate. Also, who the real winner is, up to debate as well. The gods,
have fun in the comments.
Yeah, the
gods. Be respectful, but have fun.
The Godzilla stands are gonna go hard, but we know that the true winner here is friendship.
The true winner here is friendship and, right, even if they're not friends, camaraderie.
They're building the relationship. This was their meet cute. Except it wasn't that very cute. It was kind of aggressive.
It was just a meet. It wasn't even a meet. It was just a square up.
Yeah.
Take me, throw hands.
He almost drowned him, and I'm like, this isn't fair.
It was brutal. These fights do get very brutal, very creative.
Godzilla, nothing, and like no remorse.
No remorse, and yeah, their first fight is like that. You see it in the trailers, the one on the ships. That shit was intense. That was actually really interesting because, you know, clearly King Kong was not on an even playing ground whatsoever.
Also, the little girl telling King Kong that Godzilla's in the enemy, and I'm like, I think Godzilla needs to be reminded that as well, that King Kong is in the enemy, because he started it.
Yes, please. I would love to see you take it up with him. Yeah. Take it up with Godzilla.
He started it.
Godzilla, because Godzilla, you know what this is? It's Bowser and Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
Godzilla's face is literally Bowser. You can't tell me otherwise. I understand, yes, Nintendo came afterward. Nintendo probably took inspiration from these mythical creatures. I don't care. Godzilla close-ups were literally, like, smirking Bowser. And I already see the scalies in the comments. I need y'all to stop. I need the furries to not even think about it. Because we're not here for that. Yeah.
But anyways, there is no romance in this film, but there is a very good friendship. And it's blossoming.
It's blossoming. I do like the idea of Godzilla and Kong being like co-titans.
Yeah.
Like co-titans up against like another
threat. Before we go, so like there is a hybrid between Godzilla and King Kong.
Say coward again?
No, there is a hybrid between Godzilla and King Kong that I've seen before, and apparently that is canon. I'm not sure.
That's fun.
Yeah, so there is a combination between Godzilla and King Kong. Like, I've seen illustrations. I don't know how canon that is, but
illustrations.
Yes, the Google.
Use the Google.
I think it was.
Can you imagine, like, a descendant from that race?
Yeah, it was one of those random YouTube channels that's like, what does this mean? Like, when they give you, like, a bunch of Easter eggs, and so it was like Godzilla... and it was like, Godzilla, King Kong monster? So, like, the reason to this... But if you think about the fact that they're doing, like, genetics and all that, gene splicing and all that shebang, they could make, like, a mega monster with, like, Godzilla and King Kong DNA. So, I don't know. There's a lot.
I'm surprised they didn't do that here, because that could have been an easy route to take.
Yeah.
Given
so, one will follow both of them, technically, because it's one creature with both this DNA. But I'm glad they didn't do it, because it was just,
I'm glad they went with the mecha.
Yeah. Because it was, again, let's get a little bit deep before we go. It's just a metaphor for capitalism and greed and imperialism.
Yeah.
And that is the spirit of the Godzilla franchise.
Hell yeah.
And now King Kong takes part of that as well.
There we go.
So that's what you're getting with this film. Wow, we took
Moral of the story.
We took you on a whole ride. So in summary,
the film did the same.
So in summary, we recommend this film. Go watch it before it leaves HBO Max.
You have until April 30th. So yeah, go ahead, take advantage. Go watch it. And while you're there, go watch everything else that's on HBO Max. Shit, there's a lot. I can't recall what right now. Harley Quinn's on there. Go watch that. That's really good. Season 3 is coming soon. I think Rick and Morty's still also
I think
there.
Birds of Prey is also there.
Birds of Prey. There's a lot of really good DC films.
Blade Runner 2049 is streaming on HBO Max.
There you go. If you want to see like some of the films that were very clearly used as visual inspiration in Godzilla vs. Kong, go ahead.
Yeah.
And if you can find if you haven't seen it yet, because I feel like this is just a classic. I'm sorry. I saw this in the movie theater, and I think the nostalgia factor is what's really contaminating my perception on this film. But if you can watch Peter Jackson's King Kong, I think that is just kind of, to this day, and this is controversial, peak King Kong. The second act. Yeah. I don't like to think about the third act of that film, because it's just kind of weird. But, yeah, I think it's got Jack Black in it. So why not? Why not watch it? But yeah, that's been today's discussion. Where can they find you, Miss Josie?
Well, you can find me at the Josie Marie on Twitter and Letterboxd, and you can find the Film Posers at Film Posers basically everywhere.
Yeah, Google. And you can find me at Captain Melendez on Twitter and Instagram, and make sure to subscribe to the channel. We post Film Talk every other Monday or Tuesday, depending. It depends on the schedule when I'm editing. And we're getting into more shows and more content. And do let us know in the comments below what you would like to see us do next. And make sure to subscribe to Full Circle Cinema here on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter at Full Circle Cine, and on Instagram, Facebook, all that jazz. And make sure to visit fullcirclecinema.com and read our news, reviews, and everything in between. And have a great one.
Yeah.
It's been a good monster special. I hope we get to do these in person more often.
Yes. Team Kong.
Team Kong.
Team Kong.
Team Kong. Avoid, please, any inappropriate feelings towards these monsters. Thank you. Bye.